Little bit of a surprise, but he gained 12 positions. Started down in some bumhole position right towards the back and ended up finishing... Oh geez, I can't even find you. Sanchez and the 21 of Brian Chambliss, they're battling for 7th and 8th. Kyle Kraus wants to get in on the action here as well. Kyle Kraus to the inside. Oh, Sanchez in the fence. And Sanchez has just lost out big time in the fence. And he's going to be in the middle of the track as the rest of the pack catches him. He'll want to try and get back up to speed very quickly. He's also going to be at risk. Derek Myers, the teammate of Gerald West. Oh, and the 98 of Jerry Glenn's just gone round. I think that was off the bumper of Logan Lansford. And that is going to give the advantage to Gerald West here on the outside line. But can they hold it? That is the question. Did they make their move too soon? Thomas Harmon sitting there just in behind them. He moves up. Derek blocks. He moves down. Derek blocks again. And we have contact. Derek Myers goes round. The win is going to Thomas Harmon. Thomas Harmon wins this race. P2 goes to Brian Harris. P3... Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, and a welcome to the Storm 150 here from the Five Flags Speedway. As you can see, practice is well and truly underway. It has been for about 29 minutes now, as the drivers had actually just done a bit of a pit party. Hopefully, they'll start organising another one here shortly. But already, Christian Budd leading the way with a 16.478 second lap. There he is on screen, actually, just underneath Jaron Sanchez, league owner and operator, winner from 2 weeks ago. And Jaron just got punted into the fence. Damn. Christian Budd is ruthless today. So I saw a lot of names missing from last week. We've got a lot of them back here this week. Saw Corey Williamson out there earlier, Frank Isaacson, TJ Crampton, Matt Horton as well. There is Matt Horton on screen. So the Five Flags Speedway, famous for the Super Late Model race, the Snowball Derby. And we're running a bunch of next-gen NASCARs around it, just for something different. I did go out and do some laps earlier, and the cars actually don't feel all that bad. I was personally shifting in the corners from fourth down to third. Never hit fifth at this track. And it was a little bit loose on exit, which is pretty nice actually. But having a quick little look at our top 10 right now in the standings, it's Christian Budd, John Lazelle, Jaron Sanchez, Brian Pizzicami, Jonas Marquez, Chris Champo, Travis Massia, Matt Horton, Brian Chambliss, and Frank Isaacson. At least that's how it stands at the moment anyway. There's Mark Pentecoff in 5. He's actually sitting in P11 right now. We have about 15 entrants for the race so far. TJ having some trouble out turn 2. But just a nice little tight short track. Traditional short track with the high banking. The straights give you a little bit of confidence to build up some speed. The corners are actually not all that difficult, but you still need to back them up a little bit as the run gets on. Corey Williamson getting a bit aggressive there with TJ Crampton. The 5 for Mark Pentecoff. He's trying to chase down the 21 of Brian Chambliss. Jaron Sanchez also enters the track. And around goes the 21 of Chambliss. Bit of a gaggle of cars here. Five Mark Penske having some issues out of turn 4. Frank and Christian getting involved in that. There goes Chambliss off into the turn 1 fence again. Seems to be really struggling out of turn 4, does Brian Chambliss. Could be a case of him getting on the throttle a little bit too hard. Go back to Mark Penske. We're still sitting in P11. No one really improving on times at the moment. And it looks like we're not going to get our wish of a pit party here. Drivers are in the middle of doing one when we're starting up the broadcast, so they're probably just chilling out and that for a little bit. See Frank trying to work over on the tail of Kyle Kraus there quite furiously. And around goes Brian Chambliss once more coming out of turn 4. Around goes TJ Cranton and he managed to keep it out of the fence. Nice save. Oh, Frank with issues out turn 4. Seems like that could become a bit of a trend. Oh, Chambliss issues with TJ. I think that was coming out turn 2. It's Jonas Marquez in the 64, currently P3. You know, P5. My eyes are a little bit drowsy, so I can't see numbers properly. I'm glad the numbers are so big on the side of the cars. And around goes Christian Budd. Oh, straight into the noise of Brian Fizikami. And then slammed. I think that was by the 5 Mark Pentacuff, but I can neither confirm nor deny. Oh, here's a pile up waiting to happen. Don't forget, a few of the drivers are streaming their perspectives right now as well. So feel free to go watch them. Champ Drives Cars has just gone live. Not sure if Mr. Christian Budd is live or not yet, but he should be fairly soon. There's a 24. So it's 23, John Lazelle. New look paint for John Lazelle, I think. 81 of Corey Williamson, he just got punted off into the fence. Crampton and Jonas getting into it on the front stretch. Many cars involved in that one. So this could end up becoming a typical short track race. We're going to have lots of accidents and incidents. Guys have an issue there out of turn 4. We're currently looking at the 78 of Pizzacamini, the 61 of TJ Crampton, and the 60 of Kyle Kraus. Also, Pizzacami's going to practice a pit entry. A really good idea to practice pit entry here at Five Flags. But being a short track, it's going to be difficult to get to pit road. As it looks like we're preparing for a pit party. Most cars are off the track. all cars are off the track now. We're starting to get some trickling back out. Let's ride on board with the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi for the pit party here. Go from his gyro cam. You guys can hear and see what he's going through. There, got a little bit loose in turns 1 and 2. Oh, spin in front of him. Navigated very well. It looks like he's going to continue running that higher line. Now he swaps to the low line. Around goes Bud. Oh, the spinny's in front of him. And that's a fence. Yeah, a lot can happen in a very short period of time in a short track like this. And around goes Pizzakemi. Oh, there goes Watson. Zone 2 for Travis Massia. "17 people in the server to 16 drivers plus myself. Strength of field is a 26.96. Not bad at all. big troubles going into turn 1. Most of the cars once more in the pits. There's probably only about 7 cars on track. And here are 4 of them. With just 9 minutes left of practice, these guys are going to be trying to pull out everything they can to get up the order in that top 10. It has changed a little bit since the last time we checked in on it. So now it's Bud, Crampton, Lizelle, Sanchez, Kraus, Puzakemi, Marquez, Masia, Horton, and Chambliss as your top 10 in that order. There's Champo, Isaacson, Williamson, Pensacola, Watson, and Campbell wrapping up the top 16. Around goes Watson. And don't call him Watspin for nothing. Chris Champo leading Ken Campbell around the track. More troubles on the front stretch. This could be an area that we're going to have to keep an eye on in the race. These guys are lapping very rapidly. Just under 4 laps every minute. This is a 150 lap race. There goes Travis Massier out of turn 2. I'm still here. I'm just enjoying the action that we're seeing on track. Yeah, I'm expecting some pretty big crashes to come out of this race too, because of the tight nature of this track. We're just under 3 minutes away from the end of practice. These guys should be well and truly acclimatized to the track right now. Although they probably could still call for another pit party. Corey Williamson trying to make something on the outside lane on James Watson. Going that high is not going to help him out with that though. Although Watson did get a little bit loose on an inside lane. Allowed Corey Williamson to come back at him a little bit. Marquez has been putting in so much practice, he's actually done more laps than what the prescribed race length is. Bezekemi himself has put in 96 laps. So he's almost done 2/3 of the race distance. So if this goes caution-free the whole way, then we could very well have this race done and dusted in under an hour. There goes Mark Penskoff just sailing himself up into the turn one wall. Now with less than a minute left in practice here, we are gonna go for a commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna see the results of qualifying right here from the Storm 150 from the Five Flags Speedway. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Five Flags Speedway, and qualifying results are in. Starting on the pole, going to be the 60 car of Mr. Kyle Kraus. P2 is going to be the 50 car of Christian Budd. P3 going away the 13 of Travis Massia, with P4 being the 2 car of Chris Champeau. P5 is going to be the 64 of Jonas Marquez, with P6 being the 23 of John Lozelle. P7 is the 24 of Frank Isaacson. P8, the 61 of TJ Crampton. P9, the 39 of James Watson, with P10 the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. We're going to have Mark Pentacuff, Brian Chambliss, Matt Horton, Ken Campbell, Brian Pizzakemi, and Corey Williamson wrapping up our 16 car field. But Kyle Kraus pipping Christian Budd to the pole. Hopefully he can carry that momentum through and maybe bring home a win. We're just waiting for everyone to get on the grid. Could be starting to roll any second now. We'll have 2 pace laps around this short track. And then we're going to get into the action. Now this is the Storm 150 here from the Five Flags Speedway on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. If you're watching this back on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The pace car is in.
Go.
And we're off and racing. Furious side-by-side battle as we go into turn 1 and 2. Kyle Kraus comes out with the advantage in the inside lane. Christian Budd's P2, Chris Champeau in 3rd, with Travis Massia in 4th. And for the most part, it looks like everyone's surviving so far. As now here comes Chris Champeau trying to look for something on the outside of Christian Budd. Not going to be able to find anything this time. Don't forget the first start is on the leader. All the restarts are on, first start's on green. All the restarts are on the leader. So the fact that Kyle Kraus was able to take the advantage is a big plus there. We've got 1 into the fence in turn 2. That's the 21 of Brian Chambliss. Let's have a look at what happened to Brian here. Oh, it was a little bit of side-to-side contact with the 5 of Mark Pentacuff. Maybe a little bit from the 33 of Matt Horton as well. And just up into the outside wall, turn 2 goes. Fairly gentle contact there, so hopefully not too much damage. So your order as it stands right now: Kraus, Budd, Champeau, Massia, Lozelle, Marquez, Crampton, Isaacson in 8th. Sanchez and Watson wrapping up your top 10. Indeed, the 21 does go into the pits to get some repairs done. You guys can see the standings too. There should be fairly short pace laps around here. It looks like everyone starting to form up already, so we might be getting the 1 the green next time by. This is where Kyle Kraus will be at his biggest advantage. He'll be able to dictate the start of this restart. As the lights are out on the pace car, going green this time by. And there he goes into the pits. Kyle Kraus controls the start.
Go. Green flag.
And he gets just a little bit of an earlier jump on the rest of the field, but it's enough to clear Christian Budd by a long way. Chris Champeau slips back into third. But we have a battle on for fourth between Sanchez. Actually, no, it's not Sanchez. It was Masia. Masia and Lozelle. Looks like Masia was able to take the advantage there. Sanchez is actually involved in the battle as well. And he's battling it out with the 64, Jonas Marquez. Marquez very wide in turns 3 and 4 that time. And even into the fence on the front stretch for good measure. And that should be Sanchez up into 7th, but Marquez still trying to fight hard on that outside lane. Oh, and Sanchez is going around. Sanchez bringing out the second caution of the race. Did he hit that inside wall? Or did he just get loose? Let's have a look here. Let's see if we can take it from the gyro cam inside the car. He's well and truly on the apron there. And no, he's already sideways before he got anywhere near the fence. So he must have just hit one of the bumps down there on the apron, which sent him around. Kyle Kraus still leading the way as it stands. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, should be gearing up for the restart, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Five Flag Speedway on the OSIM commentator channel for the Storm 150. The pace car is in, and we're off and racing once more.
Go.
Very early jump this time for the 60 of Kyle Kraus, and this time we're going to go and crank it up. Well, that didn't last long at all. I can see the 13 of Travis and Masia involved in this incident, so let's go find out what happened. I think we might have backed it up a little bit far here, but we'll still be able to see. The 64 of Jonas Marquez is there, and oh, it looked like Marquez might have missed his braking marker there a little bit. Into the back of Masia he went, and both of them up into the outside wall of turn 3. Frank very lucky to miss out on that one. And, oh, Ken Campbell, nowhere to go. He hit the wall as well. But he managed to not hit either of the other two cars, which is incredible. You see these two now in the pits. Looks like Marquez missed his pit stall a little bit. And this is definitely keeping Kyle Kraus in the lead of this race. I don't think fuel is going to be an issue here for these guys. I think eventually tires are going to become an issue. And we haven't done very much green flag running on these tires. It looks like Christian Butt under caution, experimenting with some alternate dimensions. And we are on 1 to green. Looks like Jonas Marquez still in the pits, so he's probably got some decent repairs to get done. So here we go for the restart now. How early is Kyle Kraus going to jump? He makes him wait a little bit.
Go. Green flag.
Kraus back out into the lead. Christian Budd slots straight back into the second. Chris Champeau still third. But this time now the 61 of TJ Cranton slots himself in the fourth. John Lozelle dropping down to fifth. Ken Campbell starting to make his way through the back of the field a little bit. He's on fresh tyres. And now here comes Christian Budd trying to make his move for the lead on the inside of Kyle Kraus. And he's going to take it this time coming out of turn 2. Kraus still trying to hold on strong on the outside there, because here comes the two of Chris Champeau as well. And it looks like he's just about to get freight trained here. Everyone running the inside line. Obviously the shortest way around the track. Kraus just looking for a gap to slot his car into. Not going to find one yet. And further down the field he falls. It looked like Matt Horton was almost going to lose the position there as well. But he managed to get it back down to the inside before James Watson could fill that position. Some action going on ahead as well with the 2 and the 61. It looks like they got themselves sorted out. The two of Chris Champeau maintaining P2 with TJ Cranton maintaining third. Kyle Kraus starting to fight back onto the outside a little bit now. It's on the 23 of John Lozelle. These guys have been side by side for like 5 laps now. Great little battle to watch. And now we're going to continue the crank it up that we tried to start earlier. All right, back to normal racing action we go. You see the 60 of Kyle Kraus trying to get all up on the bumper, the 61 of TJ Crampton. There's a few cars hitting the fence going along the front stretch. And the 50 of Christian Budd and the 2 of Chris Champeau pulled away from the rest of the pack. This is what both of those drivers would love to see. Is that gap getting bigger and bigger. Oh, Christian Budd looking like he made a mistake there. Got a little bit tight coming out of turn 4. Car darted straight for the fence. Unfortunately, the 2 of Chris Champeau unable to take advantage of it. I think the 50 of Christian Budd starting to get very tight in that race car. There's also some more gaps forming throughout the field. So obviously we've got this one from second to third. Then our next gap actually comes from the 23 of John Lazelle. Actually, no, not John. Comes from Matt Horton. So behind Matt Horton in the 33 car, there's about a 1 second gap back to James Watson. And Frank Isaacson, who's holding on to ninth, there's about a 0.8 of a second gap back to Ken Campbell, who was also pulled away from the group behind him, headed up by the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. It sounds like that time someone hit the wall pretty hard. 39 James Watson was up in that outside line now. Here comes Bizakemi in the 78. Bizakemi now up into the 8th position. I made it 7th, sorry. As Isaacson would like to get that 8th position away from him. Focusing back in on our leaders. We're actually going to take this one from the bumper of the Christian Budd car. Looks like Jonas Marquez has pulled off into the pits. As you can hear there, no downshifting. Christian Budd staying in 4th the whole way around the track. That gap's starting to grow now to Chris Champeau in 2nd. Go and focus on crashes here for a little bit. See what's happening around the track. James Watson that we're looking at right now. I think the 78 of Pizzacemi just whacked the wall a little bit. He's trying to work over John Lazelle for the sixth position. And that is a move that has been made stick. Watson trying to follow Pizzacemi through. That would bring Watson up into 7th now. Lazelle went from P6 to P8. Ken Campbell also trying to make a move on Frank Isaacson for 9th and 10th. And now into turn 1 this time. Campbell has got Frank cleared. Seven tenths of a second is the lead between Bud to Champo. These guys trying to keep it as clean as they can at the moment. Let's see if we can see anything else happening around the track. Doesn't look like there's too many battles going on right now. Everyone kind of single filed out doing their own thing. There's 23 of John Lazelle. Currently sitting in 8th. And Campbell in the 15 MP9. And it looks like our leader, Christian Budd, about to start entering some lap traffic. Let's see how he's going to negotiate the 5 of Mark Pentecoff here. And knowing Mark, he's just going to roll up high for a couple of laps to let Christian Budd through. Doesn't want to impede the progress of our leader. And nice and easy was that move that was just made. Now we're back looking at Christian Poe. Camera jumps around really quickly sometimes. My apologies there. Clicked the wrong button. The 2 of Chris Champeau now getting underneath the 5 of Mark Bensicuff. And here too comes the 60 of Kyle Kraus, still lurking right there in third. Kyle Kraus, obviously, who was the pole sitter. Looking hungry to try and make some moves here. We now look at the 39 of James Watson back in 7th. Someone just went boom clat into the fence. Not sure who that was. I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to another quick commercial break. As we are now past the halfway point. These guys are absolutely flying through these laps. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And welcome back to the Five Flags Speedway for the Storm 150 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And as you can see from our Speedway Memes blink cam here, Christian Budd still leading the way, and he's got a good 1.5 second lead over the 2 of Chris Champeau. The close racing is actually coming from behind Chris Champeau and Kyle Kraus. Kraus has just been ever so slightly getting just better and better when it comes to versus Champeau. As these drivers are probably going to start thinking about whether they can or cannot make it on fuel, and also whether they need to stop for tires or not. because almost everyone has not made a pit stop. Only cars involved in incidents have so far pitted. Chris Champeau under all kinds of pressure from Kyle Kraus. Kraus not regularly known as being an aggressive driver, but he's definitely trying to stay as close to the bumper of Champeau as he possibly can. As our leader is about to put a lap down on the 81 of Corey Williamson. But Williamson proving a little bit harder to pass here. Now Williamson runs on the high line to get out of the way. Smacks the wall a little bit as well. Does the big cutback and just stays in behind Christian Budd. Let's see if he makes it difficult for these two drivers behind him. Just wondering where and when Kraus is going to try and make his move. He's running a slightly higher line. Keep the engine temps in that car down. And also put a little bit of air back onto his nose. That's just for greater cornering stability. Chris Champeau looking like he's trying to line up an outside move on Williamson. Unable to make that stick so far. Kraus still right all over the tail of Champeau. Here comes Kyle Kraus now looking to the outside. Not going to be able to do anything there with it. Champeau holding stoic on the bottom. Williamson gets out of their way. They both get around him very quickly. Still about a 1 second lead out to Christian Budd in first. So if this were one of the more drafty tracks like the mile and a half or the super speedways, these guys would still be within a chance of Christian Budd. It's just the nature of the beast that these guys aren't able to do that. As now we just have 49 laps left to run in this race. Kyle Kraus is going to start having to try and make this move soon. Let's go and focus on crashes real quick. See what's happening around the track. Go to the 4 of Jaron Sanchez is right on the tail of Brian Chambliss and Frank Isaacson. These guys battling it out for 11th. Travis Massio is just up the road a little bit in 10th. And we have a spin on the track. I think that might have been the 64 of Marquez. Go back and have a look. And it was not, as I went way too far back. See if we can figure out who that is. And that's 78 of Brian Pizzacchemi. See what happened to Brian here. And it looks like he's just done the exact same thing as Jaron Sanchez did earlier. Got a little bit loose coming out of the corner. And everyone has come into the pits. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to see how the pit stop cycle here pans out. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And welcome back to the Storm 150 here from the Five Flags Speedway, live and exclusive on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Kyle Kraus is going to be leading the way from Christian Budd, Chris Champeau, TJ Crampton, James Watson, John Lizelle, Jaron Sanchez, Ken Campbell, Matt Horton, and Frank Isaacson, who are your top 10. You see wave rounds happening there for a couple of the drivers, Jonas Marquez and Mark Pentecoff. Mark, who has not pitted the entire race. Pace car is in. We're off and racing once more.
Go. Green flag.
And Kraus, with less than 50 to go, will be hoping that he can keep this momentum rolling. As we have trouble. And I don't see the 50 of Christian Budd. There he is, spun outside of turn 4. I was just going to fix the standings banner there. And he did that all by himself. Also involving the 61 of TJ Crampton in his spin. And that is major. That changes the entire complexion of this race. Now Christian Budd not only in dead last, but in dead last with damage. And the entire complexion of the top 10 has changed now too. It's Kraus, Champeau, Crampton, Watson, Lizelle, Sanchez, Horton, Campbell, Massia, and Isaacson as your top 10. Christian Budd's going to be sitting in P11. So 78 of Brian Pizzacchemi gets the lucky dog wave around. And how the turntables have turned. Definitely said that this was going to be one of those races, and it has very quickly become one of those races. As it looks like we might be on 2 to go. Christian Budd's just come out of the pits getting some repairs, possibly some fresh tyres as well. He's going to be down in the 14th position. He'll move up to 13th because the 78 of Pizzacchemi. Actually, no, Pizzacchemi is still a lap down, so Christian Budd will stay 14th. We only have 2 cars multiple laps down. That is Brian Pizzacchemi. And Jonas Marquez, I do believe. As we now have the 1 to go signal. Yeah, Pizzacchemi 4 laps down, Jonas Marquez 31 laps down. So here we go now for the restart. This will be with 35 laps to go. We're off and racing. Kyle Kraus with a good jump once more. And TJ Crampton trying to sneak up on the inside of the 2 of Chris Champeau. He hasn't quite got him cleared yet. There's Lozelle in there as well. Almost contact between the 61 and the 2 cars. And Chris Champeau on that outside line absolutely hauling the mail, trying to get around TJ Crampton and maintain his 2nd position. And he's going to do it this time coming out of turn 4. They're still side by side behind these guys. The 23 of John Lozelle. We've got another caution. This one is for the 21 of Brian Chambliss, who's nosed into the wall. Let's see what happened to Brian. Bring out his 2nd caution of the race. And it looks like, he just got loose coming out of turn 4. This is exactly what happened to him in practice. And he's just missed the inside wall there. The 78 of Pizzacchemi has gotten around him. And he slides all the way up to that outside wall. And just pulls it up in time to not touch it. So we're going to go to another commercial break now. And when we come back, we'll be going to the checkered flag. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Storm 150 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel from the Five Flag Speedway. Looks like we're on 2 to go right now. The lights are still on, but everyone's starting to get formed up a little bit. So it's going to be Kraus, Champeau, Crampton, Lizelle, Watson, Horton, Sanchez, Masia, Campbell, and Isaacson as your top 10. I think Christian Budd is back in like 13th. The pace car pulls in. A little bit of bumper grind as Kraus brings him in very slowly. And by that, I mean everyone was expecting him to jump earlier than that. Champeau very quickly slots into second, Crampton into third. The battle still rages on for the 39 of James Watson and the 23 of John Lizelle. Oh, but we got a move for the lead coming on with 2 of Chris Champeau. Trying to get up on the inside. Oh no, Chris has gone sideways. He hits the inside wall, kept it going. No caution, no caution. And Chris Champeau's now just dropped all the way down to 11th. Christian Budd already hunting his way through the top 10. Made it up to 8th. But now it's Kraus leading away from Crampton and Watson. Christian Budd now up to 7th after getting around Ken Campbell. And we now have 23 laps to go in this race. Short track racing always provides some excitement, and I just saw someone going around the back. I think that was the poor Jaron Sanchez. Let's go back and have a look. Sanchez definitely carrying a lot of damage on that car. Have a look at what happened here in turns 3 and 4. So Christian Budd had just gotten around these two. And Campbell looks like maybe Sanchez had started coming down on Campbell there a little bit. And that's caused a big stack up. A lot of people getting into other people. Round goes to 15. Chris Champeau well and truly involved in this. He's going to be spitting it for getting loose when he did. The 13 of Travis Massio carrying damage. Everyone else behind seeming like they got through it all right. But that's definitely changed the complexion of the top 10 once more. The top 10 as it stands right now with 20 to go. It's Kraus, Crampton, Watson, Lizelle, Horton, Budd, Champeau, Masia, Williamson, and Isaacson. As the 78 of Pizzacchemi gets one more of his laps back, he should be just about back on the lead lap. I think if we get one more caution, he'll actually be back on the lead lap. Oh, 2 more cautions, he'll be back on the lead lap. How about that? As I'm just going to quickly do a restart on our ticker there. Seems to be working a bit better now. So your full list is Kraus, Crampton, Watson, Lizelle, Horton, Budd, Champeau, Massio, Williamson, Isaacson top 10. Then Pentecost, Chambliss, Campbell, and Sanchez with Pizzacchemi 2 laps down. Jonas Marquez still 31 laps down with just 17 to go in the race when we're going to get the 1 to go signal here under caution. So we're going to be getting the restart with 16 laps to go in the race. So now the question is, does Christian Budd have enough time to work his way to the front and challenge Carl Kraus for the lead? Can TJ Crampton do anything from the second starting position? These questions will be answered here very shortly. The pace car is in. And Kraus is off and racing.
Green flag.
Crampton very easily going to slot into second. Lozelle and Watson still battling over their third position. You see just in the background there, the 50 of Christian Budd is looming. He's currently on the outside of the 2 of Chris Champeau, but these two still side by side in front of them. You also got Matt Horton in this battle. And it looks like this time, Watson going to take over the third position. Lozelle's going to start falling back. He's still stuck on that outside line. Same 2. 50 of Christian Budd. Oh! Lozelle hit the wall on the front stretch. That slowed him up massively. It's allowed Horton past. Possibly going to allow the 2 of Chris Champeau past too. The 50 of Christian Budd has found a spot on the inside line. As the laps are ticking down very quickly, we're already almost at 10 to go. Here comes the 50 of Christian Budd up the inside of Lozelle. Lozelle's trying to look for a spot to slot into, and he's found one. 50 of Christian Budd sending it on the 2 of Chris Champeau. And likewise, Matt Horton trying to send it on Watson. Watson prevails and holds on to third. And now Christian Budd up into the top 5 once more. To the inside of Horton he goes. Of course, Horton here's a who, and that who is Christian Budd. Christian Budd now up into the 4th position. As Lozelle getting up on the inside of Chris Champeau, he takes over P6. James Watson not going to try and let the 50 of Christian Budd get under him that easily, but Christian Budd gets there with a slightly better exit through turn 2. Watson trying to hold on for dear life, almost contact going through turn 4. And Watson managing to slot down very snugly in front of Matt Horton. And that's going to bring the 50 car back up into third. Watson wants to try and get it back, and he's not afraid to use the bumper to do it. But that 50 car of Christian Budd is just absolutely hooked up right now. And he is going as hard as he can. He's already pulled a little bit of a gap on Watson to about a half a second. It looks like Watson's starting to struggle a little bit with Matt Horton right behind him. We are in the final 10 laps. In fact, we're going to be 6 laps to go at the start-finish line. Kyle Kraus enjoying a 1.5 second lead right now over TJ Crampton. Crampton, who only has a half a second buffer over Christian Budd. Five to go, 4.5 now on the back straight. And this is where we're interested at looking. I don't think Bud's going to have enough time to chase down Kraus, but he can definitely try and pass TJ Crampton here. One thing that would help Christian to try and have a go at both of these guys is if we get another late race caution. We are coming to 2 to go this time. So if a caution comes out on this lap, then we'll get a green-white checker. If one does not come out, we will be finishing this race under green. Now it's going to be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for the 60 of Kyle Kraus. He comes through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. TJ Crampton still holding off Christian Budd. We're not looking at that battle, we're looking at our leader as he comes out of turn 4 for final time. Kyle Kraus wins the Storm 150 here at the Five Flags Speedway. Crampton holds on for second, and Christian Budd with an impressive fight back, finishing in third. Here comes TJ. Give a little bit of a congratulations there to Kraus. Budd straight into the pits. He won't be happy with finishing third, but he should be happy with his fight back through the field there, as we're awaiting a little bit of a burnout here from Kraus. And we're not going to get one. He might have been out of fuel. We're going to go to a commercial break now. And when we come back, we'll have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our driver interviews now, and we're kicking things off with our third place getter, the one, the only, Mr. Christian Budd. Christian, I pushed a little bit too hard on one of those restarts there. It all went wrong, but incredible fight back to get all the way back up to P3 there.
Yeah, kind of put myself in a hole there. Just kept dialing the brake bias back for the longer run we had because the car was pretty tight, and just came out of the pits and didn't reset it to where I should have. And unfortunately, on the cold tires with this car, it was kind of loose if you didn't have your brake bias a little forward, and that's what happened. Spun it out.
Now let's just talk about that fight back through the field that you had, because I know at one point you were all the way back in 14th. So how was that fight back through the field, and how difficult was it to try and look for a way around TJ there in the final few laps?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I I really wasn't sure what to think, because we got that first restart and the car still had some damage on it and wasn't very good. and fortunately we got another restart there, and I was able to get it fixed. And then after that, it really felt about as good as it did earlier. I wasn't sure how well I was going to be able to pass, but I was able to kind of just set these guys up. A lot of them had to wait just a little bit longer than I did to get back to throttle in the middle, and I could set them up real well and get the run on the exit and get them up out of the groove. Once you did, the bottom was the place to be. And then at the end with TJ, uh, I could have rooted him, I guess, but if it was for the win, that's one thing. You don't really want to move somebody for second. No reason to do that. And I tried to high side a couple times, but pretty much knew that was going to be not the way to go, and it wasn't. So uh, would have needed a few more laps for him and Kyle if I could have caught him at all. I used a lot of tire getting up through the field. So, but all in all, a recovery. But hate to lose a race that way.
It's definitely not the greatest way of losing a race, but let's look forward into the future now, mate. We get a week off next week, so you get to have a break, reset things a little bit, and then we go to the Champ Speed Shop 101 at Road America. What's the feeling like for you heading to Road America in these cars?
This whole season's been a lot of this. Tracks I've never been to with a car that I'm not familiar with. So I'll have to learn a road course, but got a couple weeks to do that, I guess. And last time we went to Watkins Glen, it was fine. I thought it was uh, easier to drive than the other ones that we normally drive. So uh, that should probably help with a little bit with the learning curve at a new road course. So hopefully it'll be fun. I'm expecting TJ to be strong there because he was pretty strong at Mosport. Um, and then we'll see. Some of these other guys are actually pretty good road racers as well. So you never know who's going to hop up there.
All right, Christian, before we let you go here, mate, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, including your Twitch channel?
Yep, my on hiatus Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Christian Bud, and one day we'll get that back going again. Also, got a shout out to Kyle for building the setup for us tonight because there's no iRacing setup for Five Flags, so he had to work hard to make that happen. And all in all, I thought it was a pretty good showing. So thanks to him, and of course all the other guys at Output who show up every week. I thought we had a pretty killing race for a short track, um, and then you get to see it all here on the Aussie Sim Commentator. So make sure you uh, subscribe.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Christian. Congratulations on P3. Still think this puts you in very good standing in the points as we start getting closer to the three race chase. And good luck in 2 weeks when we go to Road America, mate.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So that was Christian Budd, today's third place getter. And as you can hear, a little bit of dejection with that one mistake that he made, but he'll bounce back bigger and better in 2 weeks when we go to Road America. Coming up next, we are going to have our Hard Charger Award winner, and our Hard Charger is also our second place getter. Of course, that is a 61 of Mr. TJ Crampton. TJ, you must have been absolutely feeling the fire in those last couple of laps with Christian Budd right on your ass.
Yeah, I was counting down the laps left of the race in my head, because I know he was all over me, and I was just trying to defend the bottom as best as I could. Because to me, it's just a bottom track. I mean, I was talking to Kyle. You can run the top if you get it right, but I just got the track today, and I pretty much figured out how to drive the track properly about just before the second wave of yellows started to happen. So. Um, I just kind of drove the way I did towards the end of that run, and hopefully it worked, and it did. But it was a good run for sure.
Now, you were there or thereabouts towards the front for the majority of the race, and as you said, your first time coming to this track, how did you feel that the car and track combination was with the custom setup made by Kyle?
It was pretty good. As me myself, personally, in my opinion, I don't like short track racing. I'm not very good at it. I'm more of a super speedway type race car driver. So getting second at a short track is pretty good for me. But overall, I felt it was pretty good, and very excited to come back here in the future.
All right, mate. Before we let you go here tonight, we're going to be having a week off next week, and then we're going to Road America. What's the feeling like for you heading into a road course in 2 weeks' time?
I love Road America, one of my favorite road courses on this game, on the service, on the simulator. Uh, I love it. This car on road courses is a bit interesting, but I did pretty well at Watkins Glen. So hopefully, the that what I learned at Watkins Glen with this car, just the way it drives on road courses in general, translates over to Road America.
All right, mate. Thank you very much for coming out. Before we let you go again, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I gotta thank you for broadcasting as always, Jaron for putting on the league, and I gotta thank everyone who's watching and all my friends.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, TJ. Good luck in 2 weeks when we go to Road America, and congratulations on P2 and the Hard Charger Award.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. That was TJ Crampton, second place and Hard Charger Award winner, and as you can tell, he's absolutely wrapped with that. It's a great result for him, actually, and okay, very well deserved. He's one of the generally better drivers that we have in the league. But coming up next, we have our winner of today's race. And the setup builder for this race as well, because as Christian outlined earlier, no setup is available as an iRacing default setup for Five Flags. Of course, it's a 60 car, Mr. Kyle Kraus. Kyle, I'm not sure whether it's a little bit of luck or skill or both, but you definitely came out with a big win here today.
Thanks, Corey. It's a lot of fun. I love this track. Five Flags is so much fun. I really enjoyed the long green flag stretch that we had there. I wish it had kept going because I just finally caught up to Chris. I was just having a lot of fun out there tonight.
Now you definitely got given the gift of the gods with both Christian and Chris having their own little mistakes throughout the race. How did you feel coming into that final restart, knowing that Christian was only a couple rows behind you, and you had TJ Crampton there starting on your outside?
Well, I took after the big green flag run, I just took two tires because the car was so tight after a couple of laps that I thought two might help me turn a little bit better. And I did that and no fuel, and it was much faster. I had like a tenth or two more speed than I did earlier in the race, so I felt pretty confident about being able to stay once I could get like a lap or two under the tires. That was my biggest concern, was getting that lap or two. So I knew it was important to get a big jump. Um, but I was looking forward to racing with Christian. Five Flags is a fun place to do side by side, so I was hoping we could get in there and mix it up some. I was sorry to see him crash out, but at the same time, I was super happy to to see it happen just to give myself some relaxation.
All right, man. Now let's look forward into the future. We got an off week next week, and then we're heading into Road America. What's the feeling like for you heading into a road course with an entire extra week to prepare for it?
I'm probably like the opposite of most people in this league. I really look forward to the road courses and the short tracks. Road America is a fun track, so I'm hoping that I can do pretty well there next or in 2 weeks.
All right, mate. Before we let you go here today, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, of course. Thanks to you for the broadcast, Jaron and the admins for running the league. Everybody that comes out every week, especially on a week like this where it's kind of a off track week, not something that everybody has. It's a lot of fun. Thanks everybody.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Kyle. Big congratulations on getting the win. I know those don't come by very often, especially with Christian about. But hopefully some more really good results coming your way in a couple of weeks at Road America.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, guys. So that was today's winner, and a very emphatic winner as well. He's a very quietly spoken man, but you could hear the excitement in his voice there. Kyle Kraus. So that is going to be the end of our broadcast now. Obviously, we're not going to be back next week. We're going to be back in 2 weeks' time at Road America. So until then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.